Alright, this is Fox once again, and this is a request this time for Bendy, and the name of this video is 10 Disturbing Puppet Shows from Around the World. Blame it on Jorge. Alright, check it out. Just filmed my first horror movie,
The puppets. What is it about them that creates such an unsettling atmosphere? I'm sure many of us had a particular puppet or doll that tormented us growing up, always worried that it might come to life and do something. This fear
got a lot of those in my room. Kind of regret getting some of them.
They are only able to move when we're in control of them. So the thought of them moving on their own creates an unsettling feeling. And there are many puppet shows on television that enhance this fear, whether they intend to or not. So today, we're going to be taking a peek behind the curtains at 10 of the most disturbing puppet shows from around the world.
Let's go.
The BJ and Dirty Dragon Show. The BJ and Dirty Dragon Show aired from 1968
what the hell
is
that?
Bill Jackson, the BJ of the show, and his many puppets. The show spun off from Jackson's first series, Clown Out, which was wildly praised but did poorly due to bad times.
Get away from me, bitch.
The studios were impressed.
Get that shit. No, burn them all. Burn all of them.
Bringing along some of his most popular puppets.
Maybe not that
played
one.
himself as the mayor of Cartoon Town, which, despite its name,
burn those motherfuckers.
Dirty Dragon was the postmaster, but ended up eating all the mail. At the center of the town was a large blob of clay that spoke in a distorted voice.
It was like a half of a nutsack with a face on it.
He would manipulate the blob into whatever shape he felt was appropriate for that day. The show received tough competition, forcing the studio to make a few alterations to the format, including turning the puppet characters into human actors in costumes. This didn't sit well with audiences, though. It was changed back to puppets quickly. It's easy to imagine why the puppets wouldn't work well as human-sized costumes, since they were terrifying to look at in puppet form. Imagine that.
Yeah, but Megan did that shit, and it actually worked. Because it's a horror movie, it's not a kids movie.
Exaggerated in order to create.
This is supposed to be for kids.
Many of the puppets' faces are static, retaining their deformed expressions throughout their entire appearance on screen.
Some of this shit for kids is worse than fucking Megan, if you ask me.
Some of the puppets, Bill Jackson and his shows received critical acclaim around the Chicago area, and even held one final show in 2009 at the Museum of Broadcast Communications.
Number 9. Okay, those don't look too bad. If you ask me, to be honest.
The show was immensely successful in France, even leading to a massive fan base.
Those don't look that bad.
And to be honest, I don't know why. The Minikin puppets are very uncomfortable to look at. They're very similar to Lazy Town. The puppets are very
Lazy Town was a good show.
They look as though
they look just like that.
Characters first and then made into puppets later, similar to what Brad Bird did with The Incredibles. However, these puppets were given realistic-looking features on top of their cartoonish appearances, like lips, skin textures, and eyelids. The end result
they look better than that other puppet show you showed us.
In 2017, the overwhelming demand of the Minikins media caused the franchise to be rebooted, where it is currently airing to this day. The show must be pretty popular for some reason, but it can't be argued that the puppets are pretty creepy.
I've seen worse.
The Spooks of Bottle Bay. The Spooks of Bottle Bay was a
what
British children's
drama what is that?
That aired from 1993
What's
to
the fucking cross?
3 VHS tapes were released featuring a few episodes, but no DVD release or video upload exists for the remaining episodes.
Isn't that a good thing?
In the airing of the series on television since. The show follows the adventures of Sidney Sludge and his dog Maxwell inside of a ship in a bottle, while coming across his evil siblings, Sybil and Cedric.
Kill all of these motherfuckers.
By the Spooks of Bottle Bay.
Those like that.
In terms of what makes the show unsettling, the puppets seem to be a sort of hybrid between the style seen in Les Minicumes and Lazy Town, and a more abstract.
They look nothing like Lazy Town.
BJ and Dirty Dragon Show.
The Lazy Town puppets are actually cute. These are horrifying.
It appears that some viewers have been trading early recordings, so it's possible there may be more of this series to be seen in the future.
Megan looks cuter than these fucking things too. So does Chucky. All of these.
A Scare at Bedtime. A Scare at Bedtime, also known as Podge and Raj, was an Irish puppet show that aired from 1997 until 2006, almost 10 years. The name of the show was a sort of pun on a show called A Prayer at Bedtime.
Kill them with
which
fire.
relate the text of the Roman Catholic prayer.
The
over
better place of
serene
these things were
or
just
choral music
dead.
played. The show follows a pair of twins in their 60s, Raj and Paj, who live in a converted insane asylum with a lunatic
They
nurse
look
named Greg.
like they were
who's
made
dating
by a
Sarah.
2-year-old.
This is clearly very different from the plethora of unintentionally disturbing children's shows that have made up this list so far. The series is full of dark and sexual humor, especially with Raj, who makes frequent masturbation videos. Paj and Raj are rather ugly.
And these are
with
for
large
kids.
bulging
Are you
eyes and
kidding
gross,
me?
pasty skin. This makes sense though, given that their last names are O'Leprosy. The show was no stranger to gross out humor, with on-screen vomiting
Was it for
and other
kids?
jokes. Given that this show
Any
is
kid would
aimed
get
at
nightmares
adults and
from this
teenagers,
bullshit
it
show.
makes sense that this puppet show would embrace the more disturbing and weird elements that come with the territory.
No.
The fact that most of this was intentional takes away a bit from the
Oh my
unsubtle factor
God.
that's present with many of these children's puppet shows. But it still belongs on this list nonetheless for its use of these ugly-ass puppets.
They are fucking ugly as hell. Number 6.
Tots TV. Produced in Britain by Ragdoll Productions, the show focused on 3 children who went on standard children's adventures.
They don't look that bad
such as
either. They
going
look like
to the
Raggedy
pool or
Ann.
picking apples. Like most of the shows on this list, it's ultimately harmless. But it's the look of the puppets that really seals the deal in terms of creepiness.
They don't look
They
that
appear
horrifying
rather
to me.
static and lifeless.
Most of these don't.
Aside from the obvious clacky-looking eyes and barely moving mouths.
I've become
They look
desensitized
like
to
a
some of these,
crossbreed
but there are some
between
that
Raggedy Ann and the Cabbage Patch Kids. Interestingly, one of the 3 children,
They look
Tilly,
unsettling,
is
but
voiced completely
I've
in
seen
French.
worse.
Madame, les fenêtres sont sales.
In the French version, she
Teletubbies
speaks
are more
English,
horrifying
and
than
in
these
the American
things.
version, she speaks in Spanish. Aside from
I
that,
wouldn't be.
there's
Well, they're not
nothing
puppets. They're
else
fucking
setting
actors in
this apart from
costumes.
other
Never
puppet
mind.
shows, though.
Teletubbies
It's
would be on
just
here.
another unintentionally creepy children's show, except this time with stringy straw hair and beady little eyes.
Not that creepy, but I guess people might find them scary.
Mr. Meaty.
I knew that'd be on
Well,
here.
Mr. Meaty would be on here, so let's just dive straight in. This Canadian-American teen comedy originally aired on
I
CBC
actually didn't
television
mind
in
this
Canada
show. I
and
thought it was kind of
Nickelodeon in
funny.
America. It follows 2 teenagers, Parker and Josh, who work.
I think it's because that I'm a horror fan. I actually like creepy stuff and gross stuff even as a kid. This was actually top my alley when it came out.
Yeah, Mr. Meaty.
I think it's
a
my
fast food
horror
restaurant
fan.
in the mall.
Calling out.
Not only do the puppets themselves look pretty disturbing, but the content of the show is also pretty messed up as well. There is, of course, the infamous tapeworm episode
Come on.
where Parker
There's
gets
worse
tapeworm
chapter
after
than
eating
this.
raw
It's just a
meat,
puppet
leading
show.
them to sell it to a zookeeper who
The
just
puppets
straight
look no
up eats
worse
it.
than Chucky, Megan, or Annabelle.
That's the stuff.
But there are far more messed up moments than just that. One example is a recurring character, Mr. Carney, the 109-year-old founder and CEO of Mr. Meaty. He cryogenically froze himself in order to prolong his life, and now he appears so sickly and diseased that he could very well be a zombie. Aside from his looks, he's a rather disturbing individual, forcing his assistant to wear a shock collar that goes off whenever
The
he
fact
disobeys him. One short has Parker and a goth girl sticking their hands in a deep fryer.
This was kind of
destroying them,
horrifying.
and then
biting
they
their
proceed
fingers
to
off.
eat their fried hands. Another episode has a girl's nose falling off thanks to a zit,
Yeah, that was
and
kind
then a
of
raccoon
gross.
then eats her fallen nose. The list goes on, from Parker literally dying of embarrassment to being offered up to a cannibalistic cult, and a frozen
Like
body being
Leatherface.
found in the Mr. Meat freezers. Just, what the hell was this show? The series ran from 2005 until 2009.
Too bad they're
so
not on
it didn't really have
DVD.
an
You can't
insane
find them
show
anywhere on
lifestyle, you
DVD.
might think. Many people seem to remember the show because it was so weird and uncanny, not because of the humor or anything like that. But when you're making a puppet show about meat, it seems inevitable that this would happen.
It's sad you can't find this on DVD though. That show, Mr.
Crux
Meaty.
is it. From 1996 to 2001, an Israeli
God,
political
most of
satire
these
show
are
titled
old as shit.
Crux aired featuring, you guessed it, disturbing and creepy puppets. Interestingly, most of the puppets were modeled after
Get the
real politicians.
fuck away
So it's
from me,
easy to see
you
how the
ball
transition
sack
from
looking
realistic humor to
motherfuckers.
satirical puppets could lead into the uncanny valley. Information about the show in English is rather scarce, so we'll be basing all this information on the few videos present on YouTube.
That thing looks like a fucking
Now,
penis
I'm
or a
sure you've seen
dildo.
those creepy, realistic Trump and Obama masks at Halloween stores, right?
We see them all the time. They're
Well,
so
This
stupid
show is chock
looking.
full of them for Israeli politicians, with incredible
Yeah, they look
black
retarded.
skin, realistic lips, hair, and just wrong movement. It's essentially as if a political cartoon from The New Yorker came to life, but nobody stopped to think how these
Okay.
exaggerated features would look in the real world before they created them.
Donald Trump eat your heart out.
The
He'll
result is
kill
a
itself.
genuinely flabby mess, which, to be fair, is a pretty accurate representation of the elderly real-life politicians they're based off of.
Don't miss out on these.
Torchy, the Battery Boy. What can one expect when they hear a show titled like Torchy, the Battery Boy?
They're actual
Especially
puppets with
after
like
knowing that
strings.
It's a puppet show from the 60s. The British children's show follows the titular Torchy, who indeed has a battery inside of him, along with a lamp on his head. His eyes appear malevolent and bug-eyed.
It looks like
The static
Chucky.
nature of his face
If he
doesn't
had
do much to help.
A baby
Given
that
this
wasn't
is a
Glenn
marionette show from the 60s,
or
it's
Tiffany's
clear
probably
that the
because
production value
she's a
is way
woman
too
also.
high. The black and white presentation, as well as the staticky audio, add to the uncomfortable
I'd actually get a
nature
prop
of
like
the
this.
series
These
of
look
puppets.
pretty cool. I like the
There's a
more
shot at the end of the
realistic
first
looking ones.
episode where Torchy turns his head to say goodbye to an old man.
Be careful, Torchy!
Bye-bye, Mr. Bumbledrop.
His head
He was just
turn is very
dancing.
Natural, and
You
this
see
shot
that?
him added in with the shadows, low lighting, and generally upsetting face. It proves to be the defining shot of the series. Something innocent that was seen as something far more sinister.
They're creepy, but they're cool looking.
The Rimini Riddle. The Rimini Riddle was
Okay.
an Irish puppet show that aired
You have to get
from
this out
1982
every single
until
time you show me a
1995,
goddamn puppet.
and lasted for 3 seasons during a block called Saturday
Kill that
Club.
one.
Not much is known about the
Kill
show,
that
given
one.
that it has remained almost entirely lost
Even the-
since its finished.
even the
airing
fucking
in
toys in these
1995. No
shows
home
look
media
disturbing.
or internet upload have been released, with only 2 short clips surfacing in the past 23 years. The only information about the show comes from these 2 clips, TV guides describing the show, and memories of the viewers.
How did you get the
show is
footage
about 3
of
orphans
this?
who live in the Rimini house and try to solve a mystery about 2 girls who drowned many years ago. There's apparently a stuffed otter toy named Otto, who is evil and might have had a part in the drowning of the girls. As
Okay,
is
that's
tradition,
fucked
the
up.
puppets are horrifying. Their
Yeah.
faces are horribly disfigured, as though they went through some kind of terrible accident.
They look
with
like
hair
animatronics.
hair
I'm
tie.
sure
In
how they
addition
had
to the
a.
human puppets,
malfunction.
other creatures appear throughout
What
the
is
series,
these things?
or at least in the clips that are available, that
What
appear
the
like
fuck?
deformed Fraggles, complete with huge, burning eyes.
Yeah, this is still have things on my arm from a short horror film. Don't laugh at me.
It's too little for yours. I know it is.
Yes, in the middle of the night, you're gonna go
Well,
kill
that's
somebody,
nightmare.
you fucking creepy ass doll.
You say that again.
How
It's
are you?
unclear if the show is meant for children, but given its dark and disturbing themes, it's safe to say that it was along the same lines as something like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
No, that show is way more kid friendly than this shit.
Sarah and Hoppity. Sarah and Hoppity aired in the early 60s and focused on a young girl named Sarah. And her
These
toy
ones
named
don't look that
Hoppity,
bad.
who
The
was
ones that
very
look like
naughty and
actual
gets
dolls
into
don't look
trouble
that
all the
bad.
time. Given that Sarah is a human,
That's actually
you
kind
would
of
expect that
adorable,
she would be
if you ask
played
me.
by a human, but instead she's a puppet like everyone else. The show features marionettes which are rather stilted and restricted in their movements. In the first episode, Sarah is managing the front desk of her mother's toy hospital when an old man wanders in, and nobody sees or hears this man come in, aside from Sarah. He claims he has a toy to sell, and then pulls out a broken, dead-looking toy out of a sack, almost like a body bag.
I tell you, there's no one more clever than Hoppity.
Hoppity? Oh, what a lovely name.
This looks old as shit too.
Because he's only got one leg and he can't dance properly. All he can do is to go up, Hoppity.
Being a horror fanatic, some of these aren't really that bad to me because I love killer dolls and evil toys. So I'm never
After buying
phased by
Sarah
any of this
cleans him
shit.
and gives
Except
him a
the
new
couple
bike,
that
tells
pulled
him
my
to
thing
come
out
to
on.
life and dance around. And while he's charming at first, Hoppity slowly becomes more mischievous, acting as a sort of demon on Sarah's shoulders, convincing her to do bad things. Only she could hear him as well.
Kill
And when
that
she gets
though.
blamed for something
Kill
bad,
that.
She says, Hoppity told me to do it. It's unknown if Hoppity suggested more and more evil things, given that almost the entire series is currently missing.
Peppermint Park.
Boys and girls, here's something you can do when you can't go to the park. Or maybe your friend
Kill
can't come over to play.
both of these
You can ask
abominations
your mom
of fucking
to get some
hell.
bubble liquid.
Kill
And
them.
you can make some bubbles like this. What?
People say Megan and Chucky and Ambo are scary. Look at these fucking things. I'd show my kid any three of those and they'd be more horrified by this shit than those fucking things. Dolls.
And puppets. Now, taking one look at this show, it's clear that nobody stopped for a moment to consider that this show was for children, and that they would find these puppets absolutely horrifying. Seriously, these are some
Just
of the
stick with
most
Sesame
disturbing
Street and Teletubbies, parents.
These puppets feature a talking head with two hands that have
Don't show your kids any of this
inside
shit on this list.
them.
Any of this
Stand
shit.
straight forward
None
and
of it's for
straight, almost
kids.
as if they're staring at you.
Show them Megan and Chucky. That shit's less
Often with
terrifying
very
than this
popular
type of
slurred
shit.
voice acting.
Come on, gang.
Teletubbies.
Song along with me.
Teletubbies are cuter in this bullshit. Fuck you.
It's marvelous. Magnificent. I can't imagine life without the
Right between the fucking eyes. Kill it.
The entire show is a mix between a nightmare and a burning trash fire. Despite its relative obscurity,
Mr. Mitty
the show
characters
has
are more
gained a
cuter
following
than
in
these
past
fucking
seasons, thanks to
things.
its meme and shitpost potential. You would think that adding
Was that
funny
Chad
music
Tronic
and
in
clips
that?
to YouTube poops would diminish its creepy nature. But nah, nah.
Kill all these fuckfaces. Some of those are pretty disturbing. Peppermint Park. The black and white one didn't bother me that much. That one bothered me the most. That one, not too much. I love Mr. Meaty, so oh well. This one wasn't that bad. Toss TV. This one was fucked up. This one was mildly scary. Minicams, meh. That other one though, yeah. Like I said, I'm phased by stuff like this, so none of that shit really scares me anymore. But the last one, kill all of them fuck faces. But yeah, make sure to check out my short horror film paper cuts on my channel now if you know where this shit came from. Thank you all for watching. Take care. See you all in the next video. Peace.